For however long it's been since Adam and Eve... Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about British insults and their origin, so buckle up, get your seatbelts on and put your dick in your pants because we're going to get going. Let's go. For however long it's been since Adam and Eve decided to trust the opinion of a talking snake and chow down on some forbidden fruit, a taste we all know today as cottage pie.
Fuck off if you like cottage pie. What even is it? It's not a cottage or a pie.
Chow down on some forbidden fruit, humans have been in each other's necks on a daily, trying to make everyone around them feel as shit as possible. And whilst I imagine that fruit and snake-based insults of the Garden of Eden were particularly scathing, we've come a long way from southern Mesopotamia to get where we are today. Sunny Britain, where we house the largest collection of slags, twats, and wazzocks. But how did we get here? I hear you screaming at the top of your lungs.
Well, fret not, my poxy little bugger, for I will take you on a journey of discovery that will make Columbus shake in his flimsy exploring boots.
As a quick PSA to YouTube, the words in this video are solely for educational purposes and cannot be avoided, so if you demonetize this video, I will come down on you with the vengeance of Cthulhu, the likes of which the fiery depths of hell have never seen. To tackle this monumental task, we can split up our insults into 4 main categories. Number 1, genitalia. Number 2, physical looks. Number 3, actions. And number 4, miscellaneous. Side note, this video will only cover the category of genitalia due to the sheer volume of genital insults we have spawned in the UK. Check back for the series, baby! Good. Everyone clear? Yes, even you, the person on your phone, get off your fucking phone! We'll first start with names for the genitals, going from least offensive to most, and starting with Plonka, English equivalent of frick you! Whilst Wikipedia has gleefully informed me that Plonka is a, quote, man who sanctions sexual relationships between his girlfriend and his male friends, also known within the cuckold community as a cuck, Plonka is only really used as a light-hearted insult between mates. And whilst popularised as an insult by Only Fans and Horses, a popular British sitcom, it likely stems from World War I, where Plonka was used to describe the scream of howitzer shells flying over the British Army. For whatever reason, in 1920, people began to use the phrase in reference to getting themselves off, coining the phrase, pulling one's plonker. And reading between the lines here, there are 2 things I can take from this. Firstly, that people in the 1920s were jumped-up hornbags who viewed weapons of mass destruction as things to procreate with. Secondly, there's the potential that howitzer shells sound like men orgasming. Tying in second to last place and coming as a 3-piece party of penises come Knob, Bellend and Gebend. And to kick this all off, we'll begin with Knob. Whilst the origins of Knob are a hotly contested debate within the Etymological Association for Swear Words, it has 2 suggested origins. The first is that it stems from the shortened version of the word nobleman in the 1700s, with nobleman referring to the head of the aristocratic class and by default the head of the penis. The second option is slightly more straightforward, coming from the similarity of a flaccid penis to a doorknob. And as a betting man, if I had more than 20 quid in my bank account, I'd put my money on the latter. Bellend and bell are more clear in their origins, with bell having been used as a slang for penis since the 1500s, apparently due to its similarity to the form of a penis and a bell's ringer. One of the first mentions of bell in literature in relation to a penis was within a 1593 smut poem in which a woman got what she wanted from a man by wagging his bauble and ringing his bell. Honestly, I swear that these poets of yesteryear were on something. I found that for whatever reason, all the poets in my research seemingly incorporate penis-based whimsies into any nook and cranny of their smut-ridden literature, and it's disgusting. Be ashamed of yourselves. Anyway, lastly, we're going to take Gebend, and this is just a northern appropriation of Bellend, and I honestly could not find any reasons why. But interestingly, whilst you can add end to Jeb to form Gebend, you can't add end to dick to make dick end. And this brings us nicely to our leaders of the race for insults based around names for the penis, where coming up the rear, we have dick and cock. So to start, we'll first rub our minds around dick. The meaning of dick as penis was first seen in the 1891 Farmer's Slang Dictionary, which seems like a fairly odd place for it, but name-based penis slang was fairly common around these times. And now that's been covered, we can take a long hard look at cock. The main origin story for cock as penis is that it was a humorous adaptation of a 15th century definition of cock, as a short pipe serving as a channel to pass liquids through. Funnily enough, cock eventually became so associated with the penis that the word rooster was created in the late 18th century to replace it. And although that's brought us to the end of insults based around names for the penis, we can now move swiftly on to British insults based around the word for vagina. And I don't know why, but these words seem to have a much greater menace behind them than words for penis, so buckle up you cunts. Once again, we'll start with the lightest insults, beginning with pussy. And strangely enough, this might be the insult which is most traceable through the ages. One of the leading origin stories is that it comes from the similarities between the female regions and the Old English pussa, meaning pouch. The other leading theory is that it may come directly from the word for cat in the sense of soft, warm, furry thing, I know, I didn't want to say it either, okay? But this theory is confirmed by the French colloquialism une chatte, which is the same double meaning as in English. Interestingly, and contrary to popular belief, whilst the word pussy is used to characterize people as weak or cowardly, this is not in relation to women and comparing their vaginas to weakness, but instead of pussy's close relation to the Latin word pusillanimous, meaning to show a lack of courage or determination. Next up, and even more offensive, is twat, as in
Fucking twat it!
whilst twat was first mentioned as vagina in 1656, it was made popular by some absolute 1800s Chad, Robert Browning, who read it in a poem one day, and without knowing what it meant, incorporated it into his own poem where he wrote, "The owls and bats, cows and twats, monks and nuns, in a cloister's moods." Interestingly, because Victorians were so against anything improper, all were blissfully unaware of its true meaning, and in all 23 editions of the poem, twat was not omitted, with the entire Victorian population failing to realise that twat was one of the oldest words for vagina. Fortunately, as time passed, people cottoned on to the true meaning, and twat took its rightful place on the top tier vagina-based insults. And now we move on to the creme de la creme of insults, the Holy Mary of fuckery. I introduce you to cunt. So diving straight into cunt and its etymology, most sources consider the word to have derived from kunta in Old Norse, which meant vulva. The earliest known use of the word, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, was a road name for a London street in 1230. And what a place name this was, affectionately known as Grope Cunt Lane. In these times, street names were used to reflect the street's function or the economic activity placed within it, and I think it's fairly obvious what economic activity was going on in Grope Cunt Lane. And whilst the word appears not to have been taboo in the Middle Ages, it became taboo towards the late 1500s and end of the 18th century, and was not seen in print until the 1900s. And there we have it, everyone. That is a brief list of genital name insults. I'm going to be continuing this series in my next video, so be sure to check it out, and peace out.